Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters video. Alright, let's go ahead and let's do another entry here. This one yet again based on one of your new suggestions. This one having to do with a subspecies of a very popular cryptid, one that's considered definitely an all-star, one that I've talked about in the past as well, and that is a variation of the Chupacabra. If you haven't seen my video of the original Chupacabra stuff, I'll include the link for below. That will give you a good chance to catch up on that. But this subspecies is found there in New Orleans, lots of places. In fact, more than that in a minute as far as the exact spots you can probably watch where this creature is. But it definitely makes its home there, and it has a very unique name. And in fact, you're looking at the creature itself, or a version of it, and it's known as the Grunch Road Monster. So let's go ahead and let's talk about all the fascinating information associated with this apparent subspecies of the Chupacabra. So what is this Grunch Road Monster? Well, again, it's found there in New Orleans. You know how like the Chupacabra is here in the great state of Texas. This creature, though, is predominantly found in New Orleans. In fact, ever since its inception. And the way it's named actually comes from that origination point, too. More on that in a minute as well. But first, let's talk about its description. If you take your average Chupacabra, but instead make it more scaly, make it more leathery, make it have more sharp spines as well, long horns, maybe even quills running down its back, and having a blackish gray skin, that's essentially what you have when it comes to this Grunch Road Monster. If you give it maybe about 3 to 4 feet in height and have it have more intelligence than, let's say, its cousin or its main species of the Chupacabra, that's also what you have here with the Grunch Road Monster. And what I mean by intelligence is this. This is a creature that apparently doesn't just act on animalistic instincts. Instead, it's able to use its intelligence to go about and make tools, maybe tools to open things or maybe tools to attack with. And it's even able to use its hands to open doors. Imagine how freaky that would be, right? You get to see this obviously, thing out there, and already it's creating such an alarming sight. But then you see it open a door, nonchalantly just open a door as is, and it gives you the type of level that this creature has. And then where it's located is essentially there in New Orleans. As I mentioned a minute ago, its origination comes from where people first saw it. As it stands, the legends go that when it was first being seen, that was when people were first starting moving over to New Orleans, toward the Louisiana area. There used to be an old road there that was called Grunch Road. Nobody knows exactly why it was called that. It has a very unique name, right? But whatever happened to it, it's no longer there. But if you wanted to try to find it, probably the closest way is you have to go by an area called Hain Boulevard, there in a community called Little Woods. Some of you that live there might know more about this particular locale. But yes, you follow that Hain Boulevard off to where it goes into a nearby area where it stretches to a 2-lane highway. But before that, there's a whole bunch of foresty area, like darkness surrounding it. That's essentially the area where the Grunch Road was. And this Grunch Road Monster, was found there by a lot of the early settlers. So eventually people would just call it that because they would say it's that monster from the Grunch Road, and then the name stuck. And so that eventually became the Grunch Road Monster. And so another way you could actually find out if you're nearby one of these things happens to be its howl. Apparently it either screams like a banshee, or screams like an ape, or howls like a wolf. So if you hear any of those things by that location that I was just mentioning, that boulevard, then you're definitely going to have a close experience with this Grunch Road Monster. Also, it has a very strong stench, horrible stench in fact, and it also has these eyes, big eyes, just like as the Chupacabra has, that glow a reddish orange or even a bluish green type stuff. And then even with all of this, if you wanted to add just a little bit of mix to anything else as far as this creature, it apparently also has bat-like wings And then, of course, the telltale signs of nearby animals having those puncture wounds, let's say on its neck, or having those markings all around it. Obviously, that means that this creature was nearby and it was eating on them, feeding on their blood, hence the similarity associated with the Chupacabra. But other areas that you can find this creature at delve into more places that those of you that live there know. For example, there's a place called Paradis, another one called Luling, and another one called Bout. Hope I'm saying that correctly, Bout. And then those are some places, especially where if you would just park there at night, let's say near some one of those places, the Highway 90, wherever that is within those areas, if you just park there at night and just keep staring, apparently you'll see not just one, but several of these Grunch Road Monsters run across the highway really quick too. But they'll run across the highway at night, going from point A to point B, and boom, there you are. You are seeing a Grunch Road Monster in the making. When I was reading this info initially, I wanted so much, like if I live in that area, I would absolutely go there one late night and then stand, just right outside, maybe even the car nearby, just making sure everything is safe. But wait until there's something like this happens where you see this Grunch Road Monster or a pack of them essentially running across the highway. What a sight that would be. And then if you truly wanted to find out its origins, it's delved deep into the typical New Orleans type legends. It's this. Apparently there was an old voodoo story about a woman named Mary Laveau who ran into a situation where she was dealing with a devil baby. Who knows if this was a devil baby that she created or a devil baby that just came about. But when she tried to castrate this baby to make sure that it would never have any offspring, that's when those, and this is again where it just takes a little bit more fantastical turn, that's when those testicles of the devil baby eventually grew quickly into becoming both a male and a female of this Grunch Road Monster. Not only that, but they attacked Mary Laveau right then and there, almost killed her, developed the very first time the ability to bite like the famous Chupacabra does, and then they ran off. And that's essentially where these creatures came from and to their whereabouts to this very day. Again, take that with a grain of salt, but that's essentially the legend, the origin associated with these Grunch Road Monsters. And then as far as some other sightings, people in those communities still run into them to this day. People see them across. In fact, they're told not to leave their pets outside because there's potential a good amount of these Grunch Road Monsters that easily just track down those pets, and then are, it's easy dinner when it comes to them. Not only dogs, but also cats as well. They love chasing cats and then knocking over trash cans and just basically causing calamity here and there because they're wanting to feed, but at the same time, they're feeding obviously on pets and then just causing people to adapt and make different situations afterward. But that's pretty much it. That's everything associated with this Grunch Road Monster, cousin of the great Chupacabra, still there apparently in New Orleans, even though one of the last known sightings is apparently back in 2007. But who knows, maybe it's just out there hibernating or just moved into another area. Hard for it to see, like hard for other people to see now. But it'd be great to hear if those of you that live in that specific set of spots that I mentioned earlier, what your local viewpoint is. But again, that's pretty much it. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.